Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for staying. It's the last session today that you've been biting through today and have been staying around for my speech. And I want to treat you, entertain you, and invite you for a drink afterwards for that. My speech will be about sausages. Actually, it's a specific type of sausage. It's a Swiss sausage called Cervelo. And I will be throwing some of these at you. Fetch! Another one. Oh, that's all the way up. There you go. So Cervelo, there's a concept of Cervelo Promi, which is sort of a sausage celebrity, which in Switzerland means like a local celebrity. People know him. People make or her make a bit of fun about him or her. And internationally, no clue who that is. So that's like a sausage celebrity. And I want to be your sausage celebrity today. Why that? I grew up in Zurich. I'm a resident of Zurich. And I'm a citizen, a formal citizen of Zurich. Well, we as people from Zurich are popular for our big egos, but that's not the clue. The clue is, out of the several 100,000 people that qualify with the same, I'm probably the one who was the first with the Ethereum team. I joined the team in 2015 and stayed for a bit more than a year. And that makes me a Cervelo Promi today. And therefore, I want to tell you a bit about that journey. I actually started as a Bitcoiner myself. And I'm surprising all the Bitcoin maxis with whom I'm often in debates with that. I was a Bitcoiner for about 1 week. After I discovered Bitcoin, I quickly discovered Ethereum, which is sort of programmable Bitcoin, and that blew my mind. I knew that will change everything. So I was so excited about it and realized that Ethereum was actually in Switzerland, actually in Bar, and I was working close by. And so I figured I should just go there, ring the doorbell, and ask if I can help somehow. So I pretty much did that when Marty McFly set his target for his time machine to 2015. About at that time, I landed with Ethereum, and I thought, like, I gotta impress these guys somehow. And these electric scooters were not a thing, and I was importing quite a few to test them from China, and was thinking about doing a business with them. So I was already a bit into tech, all by being a banker, financial background guy. And so I arrived at Ethereum. That was the mailbox, by the way, with all the people that lived there. So when someone new moved in, they listed them Ming Chen at the very bottom, or crossed people out as they moved out. They were all packed into one villa in Bar. So I'm arriving with my scooter, and Ming Chen is actually on site, and she is totally excited about the scooter and also about my personality. So she proposed, you should meet Vitalik. She handed me that business card. Yeah, I was very excited to contribute, and then the first question to me came up, will I be a Cervelo Promi if I'm contributing to Ethereum? Well, I showed up at Ethereum and a few days later and met Vitalik. Vitalik was debugging some code and interviewing me at the same time. And Ming Chen also asked me a few questions about myself. And at some point, Vitalik looked up and said, oh, I found a bug in the C++ language. And I was like, in the programming language itself? Yes. And I was like, oh, if you're that smart, why don't you develop your own programming language? And then both looked at me with big eyes and said, well, he did. Solid. So I got proposed to come onto the Foundation Council, and they sent me all sorts of docs to read into. And I chickened out thinking about that Cervelo Promi idea, because at that time the Ethereum Foundation was pretty much broke, had all sorts of operational and tax challenges, and so I chickened out, and I confessed to them I just can't do it. And they said, all right, if you don't want to take that risk, we have this advisory board too, so you can contribute, help us help us to clean up, but you're not in the risk. And so that's what I did next to Stefano, Bertolo, and Bernd Lapp. We became very good friends and helped out a lot. Yeah, so if there's a single one thing to name as my contribution, then it was probably that I helped, that I had that idea with Ethereum, that because every week the foundation sold the ether they needed for the fiat they needed to pay salaries. I was like, oh, maybe you should stop that. That puts a lot of pressure on the market. Maybe do OTC sales. And so Vitalik said, like, well, I don't have time to do that. And so I took that on and sold a bunch of ether to some famous twins. Definitely not Servala Promis. And yeah, that might have helped, and financed the team for a while. Me and Bernd became local ambassadors of Ethereum, while there was still a doorbell that read Vitalik and Ming. Nobody was usually around in Switzerland, so we became ambassadors in Switzerland and were invited many times to banks, insurance companies to explain what Ethereum was about, what blockchain was about, because we were the only people on site. And yeah, that was exciting and sometimes very challenging. Once I remember we showed up at like a pitch round. There were a lot of bankers and they told us, you got 5 minutes to tell us what this is about. And so we explained them and they said, like, wait a moment, no equity, no dividends, just tokens? What the heck is this? Get the hell out. And so that's how it ended that time. But usually we were well welcomed. So we organized also all sorts of happenings in Switzerland, which were very fruitful. So you will bump into many people that are on these pictures, which are also here today at this event. DEF CON was a great experience, DEF CON in Shanghai, DEF CON 2. And there was this, I organized the t-shirt sale. Everyone wanted to have one of these. So we ran out quickly. And there was this one, or I took the money and put it to the hotel safe and went for drinks. And there was this time where the whole Ethereum team freaked out because they were like, hey, this Swiss guy, he left with all the money of the t-shirts. We gotta find him. Well, it was all there and safe for the foundation. Then later on, I became the CFO of Status. It was a funny episode, as you can see. So true Servala Promi. Eventually, I found my way to Near. So what excited me is that with Ethereum, things were sort of stuck because transaction fees were so high, and there was a very new, promising blockchain that had fast transactions, quick finality. It was very scalable, the idea to bring up sharding. So it sort of delivered on all the promises of Ethereum 2.0, and became the CFO of the Near Foundation. Here I'm summarizing what I just said. It actually also runs the Ethereum as a virtual machine, and there is a rainbow bridge to Ethereum. And it's a climate-neutral blockchain. Now, I'd like to talk to you about why Near is the boss. Between the blockchain and the human being, there's actually one interface, which is the token. Fungible tokens, non-fungible tokens, that's how we nowadays interact with the blockchain. And it's quite simplified, and there can be quite more to it. Unfortunately, that leads to the fact that interacting in a Web3 environment is very tedious for us humans, and adoption can be a challenge. Now, what is the BOSS? It's a blockchain operating system where here are the components on how this is going to work is as follows. So you have underlying blockchains that can be near Ethereum and other blockchains that can plug in, and you will have a data layer and a discovery layer, and on top you can have decentralized front ends. And I brought Pascal has been distributing link shops, so you can create a wallet and experience on first hand how that's going to feel. You can see it's actually a multi-chain thing. The user experience will be similar to a Web3 user experience to like live through a Web3 environment as a user. So maybe I should, let's see. So maybe I'm guiding you quickly through the link shop. So if you scan the QR code which you just received, you can claim with a new account, put a name, continue, save your secure passphrase, and then you got a wallet within your browser. And then you can scan this code. And for everyone who's not in the room and who would like to try it, you ping me on Twitter. So my handle is, let's see, here at the bottom, Yessin Schiegg, and whoever follows me today will get a link drop, so you can try it out as well. So I'm giving you this QR code again to scan. And once you log in, you can also head to alpha.near.org. That's what it does. You can create your user profile, and you can see how everything which you see is pulled in directly from the blockchain. As a user, you can interact through this platform, and you get an experience like in a Web2 as you're used to in a Web2 environment, and you don't even realize that your data as well as your assets are secured by blockchain. All right. Okay, this is it. Any questions?
All right, we have a question over there. First things first, thank you very much, Yessin. That's where you applaud.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Question about your career journey. I just checked that you also learned that you also worked for Web3 Foundation for a while. Why did you switch then to Near? Because since you have worked with Gavin Wood that actually built Web3 Foundation, what was your personal decision in this change?
Yeah, so indeed, I was also with the Web3 Foundation, and through the evolution, being with stock, sort of, when I saw that the adoption was stuck with Ethereum, I was looking around and was very excited about the Web3 Foundation because it's also a third generation blockchain protocol, which Ethereum 2.0 also sort of is. And back then, that was the latest and greatest. And well, Near just started way later and was later to the game. And yeah, so I made the transition to Near eventually because I think Near is the latest and greatest. And I'm still sticking around after 3.5 years because I'm very, very excited also about that boss bringing a new interface between the human being and the blockchain. And development is still ongoing, it's early days, and I'm very excited to see how that's coming along and how that makes it easy to interact with the blockchain and enjoy really all the promises that are out there for the blockchain, which is like owning your data, owning your assets, but at the same time the convenience of user-friendliness, because fiddling with transaction fees is just not for our granny.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions in the audience? Ah, here's one question.
Now it's alpha.
Oh, you're getting a microphone actually.
Hi. Today we're testing alpha. What are the plans for when beta, when production?
Yeah, I think there's a consensus coming up in Austin, so I think that will show some progress, I guess.
All right. Thank you very much, Yessin, for your interesting talk, and first and foremost, for teaching everybody what the serverless is. Thank you very much. Put your hands together for Yessin.